leave it there. But right now, it's mindfulness. Okay. During this time, you can put your head down, write down your frustration. So if you're feeling frustrated right now, please let me know by writing me a note. Next, use the mindfulness pen. I didn't get to print off anything new, so please use what you have. Color or draw, you're whispering, you can close your eyes, and you need to be in a seat. So even if you're playing Uno, groups of 3 or 4, and make sure that you're in a seat. Does that make sense? Okay, Joshua, if you could turn the lights off. Everyone enjoy your 10 minutes of mindfulness. Good morning and welcome back to a new vlog. Today is going to be a new weekly vlog. I wanted to catch you guys up just on everything in my classroom and just life in general. Last week I had a really rough week and I explained it over on my Instagram, trying some new things in the classroom, some new strategies, some new management stuff, and just reward systems that I wanted to try since I was feeling really defeated, unmotivated, and so were my kids, and then it just felt really stagnant in the classroom. So I'll share that with you guys a little bit later, so stay tuned for that during my plan time. I'll share that. It is now my lunchtime. Today I brought some rice and then some marinated chicken. Usually when we make chicken, it's like lemongrass, soy sauce, fish sauce, and then a little bit of sugar, garlic, some seasoning and stuff. So it tastes really good and we grilled it. It's now my plan time. I didn't know what I was talking about earlier, but I knew I was going to share my strategies with you guys. And this obviously doesn't work with every single classroom, but I feel like it's good to think about. My class just is more like argumentative, conflict within the classroom, a lot of like trying to get back at each other. So I tried a few different things because I felt really desperate. I said, you know what guys, they were just kind of arguing back and forth, and I said, you know what, let's just stop. Voices are off. I'm going to come around with a piece of paper. You have 10 minutes to write down any frustrations that you have within the classroom. A friend or someone in the classroom. I said, you can even mention names. You can make it personal and talk about what's going on that really is creating maybe tension or stress or anxiety. If they don't feel comfortable sharing something personal, they don't have to. So it was kind of a way for them to just like get it off their chest without having to verbally say it to someone. Just a time for them to like sit quietly in their thoughts and really think about what's creating this, you know, anger inside. So we took the time to do that. Voices were off, and then I told them I'd be the only one reading it. So they sent me, you know, they wrote a lot of stuff too, which was awesome. They wrote a lot and they mentioned names, and I said, I would not be sharing this with anyone. I'm the only one reading it. So then after that, they felt really good. So I think I'm going to try to incorporate this at least once a week. And sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it'll be longer. And I'm going to try to write them back, you know, give them feedback, or like, hey, say this is a really good idea. I even told students that outside of frustrations within people, you can even talk about like what you want me to either change or do better with, because sometimes it's not always the students. It can be the teacher or like my unpreparedness, things like that. Then the second thing we did was mindfulness, and I tried to show you guys a little bit of the slide. Mindfulness is 10 minutes of lights are off, mindfulness music in the background. They can play Uno, they can play with brain flakes, they can color, they can do a puzzle. Just put their head down. Some people just put their head down, some people draw, some people are just whispering. They can just talk if they want to. So we did a lot of reading in our Amplify book about the Renaissance, and so you could tell they just needed a break. So we ended up doing that. It doesn't have to be a scheduled mindfulness. It can be when you think there needs to be a mindfulness. So we read this and we were catching up a lot on the different artists and the architecture during the Renaissance, and it was just a lot of heavy reading, and I could tell my students were just like zoning out. So we did mindfulness then, about 10 minutes of it. We practiced what this looks like, so what it sounds like. And then at the end of the day, we've been doing like a compliment circle or a gratitude circle, where we circle up and the students either share something good that happened during their day, or they can give a compliment to another person in the classroom. We've only done it a few times, but there's still practice that needs to be done. It's really hard for some of us to come up with something good or positive. I even told my students, I said, it's gonna feel weird and cringy, and it's gonna feel like you don't want to do it, but I feel like the more normal it becomes, just the less tension we'll have in here. They needed to hear something good, like some affirmations and stuff. One of the students had a really just like wholesome compliment about the whole class. It started off the compliment circle really well, and it was just like a good time for everyone to practice what it is to be grateful for each other, and I don't know, just for some positivity flowing around in the classroom. Lastly, I tried Class Dojo. So Class Dojo, I've never been against it, but I never just tried it out. I never did it just because I thought, oh, it's in 5th grade. I just always thought like, oh, Class Dojo, I feel like they're not going to want to do it in 5th grade. But once I introduced it, since they do it in 4th grade still, they were really on board. They're excited about the different rewards. We even came up as a class of a list of things that they want to be rewarded. They get rewarded for anything positive like homework or staying on task or helping or cleaning. And then I also have points where I take them off if they are either like lying, being disrespectful, yelling in the classroom, eating when they're not supposed to be eating, all those things, late coming in from recess because they're still playing. And then we even came up with incentives. So if they get 150 points, I can buy them a treat or fast food, different things like stickers or extra recess, taking a break with a student, homework pass. So we came up with a big list of things that are free. Some things cost money, but I'm okay with that. It's just like whatever you're okay with and what the kids, you know, are motivated by. So we're starting all of that, you know, this week. Last week, I actually asked for an iPad, which I showed you guys earlier, just to make it easier. I don't want to be always just on my phone trying to do it, and it's just a lot bigger on the iPad screen. That has been working out well. It's been very helpful to try something new. I even got rid of table points because a student actually said in the little when I had the free writing, they said I really don't like the table points. It creates a lot of competition. So I took that and I was like, you know what, that is a good point. So I took table points off, and now it's just individualized like accountability. Comment down below and teacher moves that you have that are helpful during this transitional time in 5th grade. I think a lot of it is the hormones and the changes, and just a lot of that stuff plays a part in, you know, the second half of 5th grade. It's just a lot of changes going on. And especially because I was gone for 3 days in Hawaii, it just like, they got so used to the sub and like the expectations there. And when I came back, it felt like, you know, just more strict. Today we read a few pages in our ELA readers. Usually I am reading, but then we do a little popcorn reading too. We read about the early Renaissance. The other day we just kind of filled out an ELA page, and it just talks about the different factors of the Renaissance. So where did the inspiration come from? In math, I pulled my small group. So usually if I'm doing this, then I have the students work on one of their work pages in the book, and I just pull about 3 to 4 students at a time, and we just practice some of these, multiplying a decimal by a whole number, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. If I need to reteach anything, or if I just need to hone in on some skills, and then just kind of seeing where everyone's at. And the students did their work pages during that time, and then when they were finished, they had to do explore learning or an extra math lesson. Another thing that I started up again that I think is going to help me personally, I went back to using slides as a guide. So during COVID, whenever I was a COVID teacher, I feel like slides were very helpful because you could display the screen, the students could see what we're doing, directions, and for a while I actually taught with slides because it guided my day. It's not teaching from the slides, but it's more of like a guide. So on math, after they were done, this was the direction. So here's their must do and then their may do. Going into ELA, this is kind of some stuff that we talked about. And then as I was reading, and then mindfulness is on here. Here's just like a quick little, here's what you can do as a reminder. And then we had some reading time reminders, our reading question of the day today, and we went into science today. So we didn't get to finish science, but we're starting on How Can the Sun Tell You This Season. We recently just rolled out a new like special schedule. So my kids are actually going to specials earlier on Mondays, and we have a longer prep time during this time. We actually have 55 minutes when it's usually 45, just because later on in the week it does change a little bit. I have time to get things done. I really like that I spent some time just fixing up my slides to help us guide the day. I also wanted to send a note to parents about the new like dojo points and how students can work on just being kind in the classroom. I want, you know, their collaboration obviously, so I'm going to just ask that they, you know, have conversations at home and just ways to help out at home so that we can be on the same page at school. And sorry, I just feel like I feel so congested and like brain foggy, you know, when your ears are just clogged up and it just feels like you're talking into, I don't know, I just feel like I can't hear myself that well, and it's really frustrating. So
I'll see you tomorrow.
all right, bye. Put everything away that you need to put away, okay? Thank you. Can we have You know what time it is? It is an energy drink time, except I was sharing this earlier. I got the Zevia drinks. Now, I drink a Zevia like every night. It's just one of those things like Brandon, my brother, and I, it's like our nightly treat because it's like a soda. It's carbonated, but there's like, there's not all the crap in it. So this drink literally has carbonated water, natural flavors, citric acid, organic stevia leaf extract, and organic caffeine. I would prefer to drink this over like my Alani or my Blooms. And someone else commented on my last video and said they drink Olipop's, which is like 70 milligrams of caffeine, also a great option. Since I want a little bit more, this is 120, which is like a perfect medium, I feel like, in between 100 and 200. This lasts me through my workout, and this will last me through the night with the girls. And I'm just extra tired because I have a cold, so I just feel run down today. I actually got these off of Amazon. It comes in a pack of 12, and they're really, like I said, I feel like I've been really good with using the slides today. I feel like it was really helpful just for my students, myself, to guide our day, but to also just kind of like have a place to refer to instead of me constantly like reminding students what they can do, what they can't do. We do have conferences really soon on the 18th, so I need to be better about grading. I still haven't gotten to like a good rhythm of just getting things graded on time, so I need to prepare for that. I need to prepare my students for conferences. Like right now that I'm thinking about it and I want to talk about it, I'm just going to go ahead and create a Google slide that just says what are student-led conferences. Instead of it being like a conference where the student is mainly speaking, it's going to be more of a gallery walk. So we're going to have different stations that the parent and the student can go around and just like show their parents their poetry book or their Black History Month book or what they're currently working on. I already made a Sign Up Genius, and basically I'm going to have 5 groups at a time, so the traffic is less, you know, chaotic in here. It'll be 5 students at a time, and they can just kind of go around the room at their own pace and present and show their parents their successes. And then at the very end, the last station will be with me if they want to go over their grades or just like look over anything or ask questions.